So there are some interesting updates that have come from Amazon with regards to using artificial general intelligence to help the sellers on their platform. And this article, this post from Amazon came on September, where they said that Amazon is going to launch generative AI to help sellers write more product descriptions. This is interesting because, just for context, product descriptions are basically the different elements of a product page. So this is called a product title. These are called product features. This is a product image, and you have something called A plus content. That is basically a fancy way of showing rich media content for your product page. So the idea behind using AGI from Amazon was that the very act or the very process of generating listings, these listings that you see for sellers, especially smaller sellers, is very time consuming. They do not know how to structure the listing so as to target the right customers, so as to differentiate themselves from their competitors, and so on. So the idea from Amazon, I'm assuming, came from that very aspect of it, where with minimum amount of input, you can generate a decent listing. And so in this article, they made it very clear that they want to make the whole process easier for small sellers, and just make it so that the sellers have a good opportunity without spending a lot of time and money in creating a good product listing. And these includes bullet points and descriptions and so on. So when this news launched, there was a lot of interesting talks going on. So one of the discussion points was that this will definitely help in the customer experience, because then they will get sight, or they'll get visibility to those products that closely match with their buying preferences, with their search terms, with their search history, and so on. So Amazon has that power to do it. There was also a lot of trepidation, where there was a certain test that ran amongst all the sellers, where product listings were changed on a whim, and there was complaints from a lot of brands because the new changes that were made without their permission, allegedly, was not a right representation of their product. So there were some issues there. The same thing Amazon did with images as well, but it's too simplistic, to say the least. So the concept behind this is that you upload your product image, and they will basically cut out the outline of the image and put it in a setting which is relevant. So for example, in this case, if you upload the photo of a shampoo bottle, they will put it on a sunscreen, they'll put it on a beach, and so on. So in the article, they say that ads has been art and science. Art has been art is going to get easier, and they also say that in the test that they ran, more than 100,000 sellers accepted whatever changes they recommended in their listings. And most of the sellers, intuitively speaking, it's right to say that they've struggled to list their products up on these platforms. So this is kind of like the latest update, and the newest article that came out earlier this month was the same thing, basically, where if you want to list your product up on Amazon, you can use your own website or link your own website so that Amazon can grab all the information and structure the listing based on the best representation of your product. Funnily enough, this is the core concept behind Xena Foresight as well, where our algorithm helps in optimizing the listings and also generating the listings from scratch as well. The main issue that I see here is that Amazon doing it is kind of, let's call it, could be restrictive, because if you think from Amazon's perspective, yes, they want as many sellers as possible selling on their platforms. They get the referral fees, they get the FBA fees, and they get the advertisement fee as well. So it is, there's a lot of incentive for Amazon to do this. But if you think from a seller's perspective, what incentive does Amazon have to differentiate or put in extra effort to make the products of smaller sellers unique? Because regardless of who the customer buys the product from, they would get the referral fee. They would get the revenue from at least the third party sellers. So then that begs the question, how good an AI generated product descriptions can be. And given the history of Amazon's not very friendly relationship with sellers, in terms of making it very difficult for them to update their listings, make any changes to Amazon catalog, it does um, I would say that a lot of sellers would be wary of using these tools or trust it implicitly as opposed to trusting a third party uh, provider to help them sort out their listing. But the the bottom line is very clear. Listings are a major issue, and there are a lot of people, a lot of sellers willing to participate, take part in testing out this aspect. And this pain point, if solved effectively, can democratize access to high quality competitiveness or competitive differentiation for a lot of third party sellers. So I think overall this is great news, and just justifies or reinforces the fact that the future of e-commerce is in the hands of generative AI and is in the hands of democratizing access to a lot of small businesses, mom and pop stores, and to make the process of coming on board e-commerce channels easier.